welcome back to T's Vet Tech Bistro. Glad you're here. Today, we are going to make barbecue chicken. Also some cornbread on the side. I bought a whole chicken because I wanted to practice breaking these down, but there's also another reason for that, is your leg meat and your thigh meat needs to cook longer than your breast meat. Breast meat about 160, 165, and you can eat your thighs and your legs at 165. It's safe. However, if you take that up another 20 degrees to 180, 185, then you're going to get a really, really nice, juicy bite of chicken. Pat your meat dry. Roll over. Now, if you want, you could separate these. Find that joint right in there. I can stick my thumbnail right in there, and then you could separate these into thighs and legs if you want. I'm going to, for the purpose of today, I'm going to leave them together. Pop goes the weasel. Make any trimmings that you need to make. Like I said, I'm not a butcher. I'm not a professional at this. I've watched a few YouTube videos, but you'll get better as time goes on. They make it look so easy. And yeah, it takes a little bit of extra work. Don't you feel better when you do it yourself sometimes? I do. Plus, it's cheaper. That's my dog. She hasn't had her walk today, so she is letting me know she wants to go out and play. I know some of you are out there cringing if you're watching this, going, yeah, I'm butchering this up pretty good, and you're right. So, you got these guys. So what I want to do, you guys have been watching me from the rib episode. I like to brine my meat. Chicken is wonderful in a wet brine. So we're not going to do a dry brine. We're going to do a wet brine. The ratio for kosher salt is 2 cups per gallon of water. We're doing 1 cup per half gallon. So here's how I do it. Take all of your salt, put it in as much water as it's going to take to just dissolve the salt. Because if you have a half gallon or a gallon of water and now it's all hot, now you got to try to figure out how to cool all that water down. So we're going to start with the least amount of water that we can get to dissolve this salt. Salt. Stir it up. And I'll tell you the reason I like brines, for those of you who don't understand why I like brines. You ever gone someplace with your friends and they're like, man, this chicken is so good. They're serving tons and tons and tons of chicken and everybody's raving about it. And you get there and it's not that good because they didn't brine their chicken. It's like eating one of these. That's what brining does for you. Keeps your meat moist, gives it that little extra saltiness too, but it makes it so much better. Why wouldn't you want that? I want that. I'm just going to pop this in the microwave for 3 minutes. Holy moly's. That little plate in the microwave just scared the crap out of me. So I just want to get it to it's dissolved. It doesn't have to be at a roiling boil. Just get it dissolved. I'll also leave the salt ratios down below for you to check out. 3 minutes did the trick. Perfect. I'm going to pour this hot stuff into our cold stuff. Also going to chill it down with ice. Woo! Everybody in the pool. And I'm going to put my chicken in. Pool's getting full. Gonna dump a little bit of this out. I hope you're not here for expert tips because this is not the episode for that. Kind of winging it. Okay, now there's room for everybody. What you don't want to do is you don't want to put your chicken in hot water because then you'll end up poaching it. Gonna put this in the refrigerator. Be right back. The interweb says to brine about 1 hour per pound of meat that you have. Poultry is a little bit lighter, so you could probably, get away with half that or 3/4 that. And it's okay if you don't go the whole time. Any brine that you can get is better than no brine. That was a 6-pound chicken. I'm not gonna let that sit for 6 hours. A couple hours should be fine. And we're gonna make some cornbread anyway. Let's get to that. I'm only gonna use about half of what I normally do because this is a small batch. I'll drop the recipe down below. We're gonna have 2 bowls. 1 bowl, salt, baking soda, baking powder, and buttermilk. We don't drink a lot of buttermilk in our house, but I found something really cool. You can find this in your baking aisle at your local grocery store. It's a buttermilk powder. Just add water. I'm not kidding. It's awesome. Got a cup of water and 4 tablespoons of this magic powder. We now have buttermilk, and it's made with real buttermilk. It says so. Cultured buttermilk. Cool. We're going to mix all those together. Next, we're going to mix our sugar. Our cornmeal, highly recommend you use real cornmeal, not the stuff that comes in a box that you make quickie muffins out of. This will serve you much, much better. I have old-fashioned stone ground yellow cornmeal. Recommend this. Flour. Next, I'm going to get out some muffin pans. Here's why I like to have muffin pans. All these little edges around here are going to get crunchy. You don't get that when you cut them out of a pan. So I have a half a stick of butter. Got my trusty silicone brush I love so much. We're just gonna coat that in there. And you're gonna take what's left of here and you're gonna pour it right in here. Because who doesn't like butter? Here's where I'm gonna amp it up a little bit. I have some green chilies here. Get a couple of good teaspoons in there. You do you. I also got a bag of some little baby yellow and white corns. I want to put some fresh corn in here. I'll just do a 1/4 cup. Mix that up. Take my scooper. Wow, that came out just about perfect. Ta-da! I like to slam them down just a little bit. Okay, chicken has been brining for about 3 hours. Where does our food go? On racks with heavy-duty foil. That's right, kids. That is right. Pat your meat down. I'm going to tuck these wing tips under here because I think they're just going to get too crispy. Use your favorite rib rub before you put these in the oven. Wet hand, dry hand. Just put a little bit on here. I kind of like to rub it in a little. Don't forget your sides. Into the oven we go with the chicken and the cornbread. Okay, the breasts came out. They've been resting for a little while. Look at these cornbreads. You see all this wonderful golden brown deliciousness? This is why I like putting them in muffin tins. Take your favorite barbecue sauce. Try a little. Now you could pop this in your broiler for a little bit. Get the skin as crispy as you want it to be. Look how moist that is. Try this cornbread. Nice and crunchy on the outside. Very corny. I want it that way. A little bit of the chili in there. Go ahead and try these. Let me know what you think. If there's anything that you'd like to see me make, drop the comments down below. Thanks for being at T's Back Deck Bistro.